Right, wireless networks have been slowly rolling out 5G for years, and starting next week, major carriers will begin shutting down older 3G networks to make room. That shouldn't be a problem for most cell phones, but experts say the move could disrupt home alarm systems and even certain medical devices. So how can you prepare for the 3G shutdown? Here to answer our questions is Servaas Verbiest. He's the lead cloud evangelist with Sungard Availability Services. Servaas, good to have you with us. Thanks for being here. So we just mentioned this shutdown could impact alarm systems, medical devices, even fire alarms, but help us understand what that actually means. Like a fire alarm will still detect a fire, right?
Yeah, so it's still going to detect a fire, right? It's mainly about the communication. So the subsequent activity where the system would contact the fire department or emergency response would be impacted. And that's primarily because the wireless communication components are still heavily relying on 3G technology.
Got it.
Yeah, like you really need to take into consideration as you move forward with your systems, because it's not something that this pandemic really made easy to address. Because in order to change out these components, people would have to come into your home. And rightfully so, most consumers were really hesitant to let people in while we were trying to figure out how we would handle COVID-19.
So how can people check if their systems are compatible with 4 and 5G? And if they're not, then what should they do?
So a lot of organizations did a fairly good job of providing correspondence warning that this was going to happen. The trouble is when you read that offhand, most consumers assume it's just an opportunity to sell more stuff. You could check for that correspondence or reach out to your manufacturer. They're going to have to work with you pretty expeditiously, because I know when it comes to alarm systems, AT&T is a large provider in that space. And I know the AAIC, which represents alarm system companies, did file a petition to have AT&T extend this sunset date out to when Verizon has it in Q4. And it looks like that didn't happen, right? And last I checked, there's still thousands of organizations and consumers that are still relying on systems that need this kind of wireless connectivity to support it. Don't call 911, don't call emergency services to make sure it works. That's just going to create problems. Like I said, just follow up with your provider.
So alarm companies are actually petitioning the FCC to specifically delay AT&T's 3G shutdown, which is supposed to happen Tuesday. What's their argument? How do you expect that decision will go?
So, I mean, it's a pretty sound one in my opinion, because they're referencing the fact that the pandemic brought in a number of variables, like the one I just mentioned, that impacted the ability to address this consumer component problem. Businesses and organizations had a little bit of an easier time because offices were shut down. So, it was very simple to send a technician in to make an adjustment and change out those components. But like I said, consumers were concerned about contaminating their family members or bringing the virus into their house. AT&T's counter argument basically states, hey, during the pandemic, people were investing more in their homes. So we don't agree that that really is a valid issue, and you just have to work to move it. So like I said, you really need to get on top of this now, and alarm companies are actually doing everything they can to expeditiously rectify this issue. So.
All right. Servaas, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.